What am I anticipating for 2022? Stay tuned to find out. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books, and today I've got for you my top 5 most anticipated releases for 2022. There are different genres, there's all sorts of different authors. It's just going to be a really fun list. We will have the 5 books listed down below if any of them sound intriguing to you. Obviously, you probably aren't going to be able to get them yet. Otherwise, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the list. And as always with this video, I will be having my phone to read off of notes. And again, these are just my top 5 most anticipated, just like authors that I'm more well-rounded with are pretty much in this list. Obviously, there's other books I'm excited about coming out in the next year. But these are just the top 5 that I'm aware of so far that have been announced from people that I've read or know of. So first book is Gwendys Final Task by Richard Chizmar and Stephen King, being released February 15th. The little blurb is, in Gwendys Final Task, horror giants Stephen King and Richard Chizmar take us on a journey from Castle Rock to another famous cursed Maine city, to the MF-1 space station. I don't know if I said MF-1 correctly, but that's what it says. Where Gwendy must execute a secret mission to save the world, and maybe all worlds. So after reading that, I kind of get a vague idea that that could have some sort of reference to possibly like the Dark Tower, because that's like one of the big lines they always mention, the Dark Tower's like, there are many worlds, there are more worlds than these, or something like that. So I think that could have a big thing to play into it. And it is a 400-page book, which is bigger than, I think, the other 2 Gwendy books, which I did read the other 2. And the first one, I think, is better. I would solely say it's because King helped write it, but I don't want to put all the blame on that. But yeah, I am very excited for this. This is the only King book that is announced for 2022. He said he wanted to write some kind of like COVID-ish type book at some point. I don't know if that's going to be any time in the next year or 2, but I'm anticipating a possible another release by him later this year, but it's not a guarantee. So for right now, Gwendys Final Task is the one from him. Alright, the next book up is The Ravenous Dead by Darcy Coates. That is the sequel to The Whispering Dead, so I'll try and keep this description brief. This is being released March 15th. I did read The Whispering Dead, and I think I gave it 4.5 stars or something like that. So this says, Kira, hired as Blightley Graveyard's new groundskeeper, lives surrounded by the dead. They watch her through the fog. They wordlessly cry out. They've been desperately waiting for help moving on, and only Kira can hear them. But not every restless spirit wants to be saved. Sometimes the dead hate the living too much to find peace. The first one was really good. I really enjoyed that one. I am excited for this one. I think I read it's supposed to be a trilogy, but I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. I knew of the sequel coming out, but I don't know if there's a third one. I guess we have to see what happens in the second one. So, yeah, there you have The Ravenous Dead by Darcy Coates being released March 15th. Alright, the next book up is Children on the Hill, which is by Jennifer McMahon. This is going to be the 3rd book I will read by her. This is released April 26th. The 2 I already read was The Drowning Kind and The Winter People. Winter People was a phenomenal book. It was one of my top books of last year. And The Drowning Kind was a 4 stars. It's in the middle of the pack, I'll say. But this one says, from the New York Times bestselling author of The Drowning Kind comes a genre-defying new novel inspired by Mary Shelley's masterpiece Frankenstein that brilliantly explores the eerie mysteries of childhood and the evils perpetrated by the monsters among us. This is another dual timeline book. I think Jennifer McMahon is like notorious for doing like dual timelines. I think this one's got 1978 and 2010 or something like that. Or yeah, it sounds right. 2018 maybe. It's like a 30-year difference. But The Winter People, she did that. The Drowning Kind, she did that. And I haven't read all of her books, but I'm going to guess that the other ones are kind of the same. Again, she's an author I explored last year, and she was really good. And I can't wait for this one to come out. I don't know if this... I don't think this is like a sequel to anything. I think it's just a standalone novel. I have not read Frankenstein yet. That is a book I need to read, though. My goodness. But I am excited for this release, and I can't wait for it to come out. So there you have Children on the Hill by Jennifer McMahon, released April 26th. Alright, next is The House on the Lake by Riley Sager. This is another one of my top authors that I explored 2 years ago, I think it was. I think the first one I read was Home Before Dark, and that one was a really good book. And it kind of jumped. I will say, for me, he got better from his first book all the way up until Survive the Night, which was last year's release. I would say Home Before Dark and that one are kind of neck and neck for his top works, for me, in my opinion. But this one is Casey Fletcher, a recently widowed actress trying to escape a streak of bad press, has retreated to the peace and quiet of her family's lake house in Vermont. And based off of his work, I'm going to say it's probably not going to be peaceful and quiet. So, again, I don't want to know too much going into this book because I haven't really wanted to dig deep into his stuff in terms of, like, before I read it. But I am very excited for this one because he is also one of my favorite authors that I have started to get into as of late. So, yeah, very excited for that one. There you have The House on the Lake by Riley Sager, released on June 21st. Alright, so the book I'm going to talk about next is technically like my sixth book. I'm going to talk about the fifth one after this one. This is just going to be brief. But Adam Caesar is coming out with a sequel to Clown in a Cornfield. I think it's called Frenda Lives. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Cover has been released for it. We are going to post it on here. But it looks sick, and the first book was really good and very intriguing, and I would like to know where it's going to go with a sequel. Because the way it kind of ended off, I don't know if it was possible, but I don't know. So I am excited for that one. That is one that there's no description for it, so just want to mention that one. And now we're going to get into the last book, which is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. As you guys know, Grady Hendrix is probably top 4 authors for me besides King. He's up there with Sager, Anya Alborn, Darcy Coates. And this one is being released July 12th. The Clown in the Cornfield, I don't know when that one's coming out, so I'm not sure. But this one says, New York Times bestselling author Grady Hendrix takes on the haunted house in a hilarious and terrifying new novel that explores the way your past and your family can haunt you like nothing else. And like I said, Grady Hendrix has been a very good author for me. I've loved pretty much everything that he has written. The one that's kind of a blunder is, I think it's the Final Girl Support Group, or something like that. It was his take on the final girl trope that just really doesn't work with me that much. And out of the final girl books that I've read, I would say that one has worked the best. But Grady Hendrix is a top author for me, and I absolutely love everything that he has written so far. And I can't wait for this one to come out. How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix, being released on July 12th. Alright, so those are the 6 books that I'm most anticipating to be released in 2022. Obviously, there are more releases that I'm going to be excited about as they kind of get more announced, I'll say. Like I said in the first one, I think King might possibly have a book coming out this year besides Gwendys' Final Task, but I don't know. If he does, awesome. If he doesn't, then we'll just keep on waiting. But yeah, this is really cool. Make sure you let me know what releases you're excited for 2022. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Later.